How many times have you found yourself on the edge, looking down at the very thing that's holding you back and thought, "This is it, I can't go any further. This is the end of the road for me." You felt like you've given all you have, only to see your efforts fall short. How many of you have been knocked down, maybe not physically, but emotionally, mentally, spiritually? Maybe life has thrown a curveball, and you've caught it square in the face. But here you are. You're still here today. You're still standing. I need you to hear me clearly. You can keep moving. That setback didn't stop you. It only made you stronger. That failure didn't define you. It refined you. And the beautiful thing is, it's not over until you say it's over. You see, the difference between those who succeed and those who fail is simple. They kept moving. Let's take a moment to acknowledge something very important. Life is tough. Every single person in this room, or watching this video, has faced a moment where they thought about giving up. Whether it was a failed business venture, the loss of a loved one, a personal setback, or a health issue, we all experience challenges. But I want to remind you today that every challenge you've faced, every moment of hardship, was simply an invitation for you to prove your resilience. It's an opportunity for you to rise up, dig deeper, and keep moving forward. Life doesn't stop when we stumble, does it? If life stopped every time you fell, we'd all still be lying on the ground. But that's not what happens. You fall, and then you find the strength to get back up. You break, and then you rebuild. It's not about whether you fall. It's about what you do after you fall. It's about whether you choose to get back up, dust yourself off, and keep moving. You are not defined by your struggles. You are defined by how you respond to them. Look, let's be real for a moment. Everyone's life has moments that are uncomfortable. There are moments when it feels like you're carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders, and you just don't know how you're going to make it through. But this is where you show what you're made of. This is where your strength is born. Every day you wake up, you have a choice. You can choose to stay down, or you can choose to get up and keep moving. Think about the last time you faced a challenge. How did you respond? Did you throw in the towel, or did you find a way to push forward? And if you did keep moving, how did that feel when you finally broke through to the other side? Maybe you've been through financial struggles, relationships that fell apart, or maybe it's been a long stretch of bad luck. Have you ever been there? Have you ever looked at the situation and thought, "This is too much. There's no way I can get through this"? But somehow, some way you did. You pushed through, you found a way, and here you are. It wasn't easy, but you did it. That's the beauty of resilience. That's the power of perseverance. Now think about what's ahead. What's your next step? Is there something in your life right now that feels insurmountable? Maybe you've hit a wall, and you feel like there's no way forward. But I want to tell you something today. Keep moving. Don't stop. Don't give up. Because when you keep moving, when you take that next step, you are closer than you think to the breakthrough you've been waiting for. Here's what I want you to understand. Movement creates momentum. When you keep moving, you're not just putting one foot in front of the other. You're building strength. You're creating a foundation for something bigger, something better. And the more you move, the more momentum you gain, until one day, you'll look up and realize that the thing that once seemed impossible is now your reality. Can you remember a time in your life when you almost gave up, but something inside you kept pushing you forward? Maybe it was the voice of someone you loved, or maybe it was a quiet whisper inside that said, "Don't stop now. You've come too far." You've been there, haven't you? I know I've been there. And I want you to remember that moment every time life tries to knock you down. You see, life will always give you opportunities to quit. Every challenge, every obstacle, every tough moment, they're all opportunities to throw in the towel. But what sets the winners apart from the quitters is simple. The winners keep moving. And you, my friend, are a winner. You have everything you need to keep moving forward, and I'm here to remind you today that you are equipped for greatness. So the next time life knocks you down, the next time you feel like you can't go any further, Ask yourself this question. What would happen if I kept moving? What would happen if I chose to get back up? What would happen if I decided that this moment wasn't going to define me, but it was simply a stepping stone on the path to something greater? The answer is simple. You'd be unstoppable. The power of momentum. Momentum is a force. It's a quiet, persistent energy that propels you forward, even when you feel like quitting, even when your body, mind, and spirit are exhausted. Think about a boulder at the top of a hill. Initially, it's heavy, difficult to move, but once it starts rolling, it gains speed. It doesn't stop until it reaches the bottom. This is the power of momentum. It's the force that keeps you going even when you feel like you can't. Now here's the thing. Momentum doesn't require a huge burst of energy all at once. It's not about sprinting at full speed right from the start. It's about those small, consistent actions that build upon one another. Think about it. When you take that first step forward, even if it's a tiny step, you create energy. That energy starts to build. With every move, the momentum grows, and eventually you find yourself moving with a force you didn't even know you had inside you. The key to building momentum is simple. Small steps over time lead to big changes. So many of us give up because we want results instantly. We want to see immediate success, and when it doesn't happen, we get discouraged. But here's what I need you to understand today. It's the small steps that matter the most. It's those early efforts, those small moments of discipline, those little things you do every day that will eventually carry you to success. Maybe today you can't run a marathon, but if you start with just a 10-minute walk, that's a small step. And tomorrow, you walk a little further. The next day, a little faster. Before you know it, you're running a marathon. But it didn't happen overnight. It happened because you kept moving, because you created momentum. Think about the power of habit, momentum in action. You know how easy it is to fall into bad habits, right? You know how quickly things can spiral when you stop paying attention. But let me tell you something. The same principle applies to good habits. The moment you take that small step toward the right direction, you begin to build momentum. And eventually, that momentum will carry you to places you never thought you could go. Let me share a story with you. I want you to think about the great leaders we've all heard of. Those who faced impossible odds and made a way out of no way. I want you to think about someone like Nelson Mandela. How many of you know his story? Here's a man who spent 27 years in prison. 27 years. Can you imagine that? He wasn't just sitting there doing nothing. No, he was battling despair. He was battling hopelessness. And yet, what did he do? He kept moving. Every day in that prison, Mandela took small steps. He studied, he thought, he dreamed. He knew that the battle wasn't over. It had just begun. When he walked out of that prison, it wasn't the same man who walked in. It was a man who had learned to build momentum, who had learned that every small action, no matter how insignificant it may seem, was a step toward freedom, not just for himself, but for an entire nation. Look at athletes. Take Michael Jordan, for example. He didn't become the legend we know him as because he was born with some innate superpower. He became Michael Jordan because time and time again, he was willing to take those small steps when others didn't. He was cut from his high school basketball team, but he didn't let that stop him. He kept practicing, kept shooting, kept moving. And when it mattered most, when the game was on the line, it was his momentum, built over years of practice, that carried him through. It's not just about talent, it's about persistence. It's about refusing to give up, even when it feels like your efforts aren't paying off. Momentum is the result of consistent, small actions. It's not flashy, but it works. And it will carry you farther than you ever imagined if you don't quit. One of the most important things we can learn from these leaders and athletes is that momentum doesn't happen overnight. They built it through consistent effort, through focusing on the small steps, through the belief that even though they couldn't see the finish line, each move they made was one step closer to it. And that's what I want you to do today. I want you to think about your life, your dreams, and your goals. If you've been standing still, if you've been stuck, I want you to take one small step forward right now. Don't worry about how fast you're going. The speed doesn't matter. What matters is that you are moving. You are taking action. You know, a lot of people don't start moving because they're afraid of how far they have to go. They look at the distance between where they are and where they want to be, and they get discouraged. They see the gap, and they freeze. But I want to encourage you to focus not on the distance, but on the next step in front of you. It's not about how fast you go. It's about moving in the right direction. Let me say that again. It's not about how fast you go, but that you're moving in the right direction. When you focus on taking small steps, your pace doesn't matter. You're not competing with anyone else. It's your journey. It's your path. And here's what I know. When you keep moving, no matter how slowly, no matter how small the steps, you will eventually build momentum. That momentum will carry you farther than you ever thought possible. You will look back one day and realize how far you've come, not because you sprinted to the finish line, but because you kept moving, one step at a time. So I'm challenging you today. Start moving. If you've been stuck, start with one small thing. Maybe it's getting up a little earlier to work on your dream. Maybe it's making one phone call you've been putting off. Maybe it's just writing down one goal. Do it today. That one step will begin to build momentum, and tomorrow, you'll take another step. Before you know it, you'll be running toward your goals with unstoppable force. Remember, you don't have to do it all at once. You just have to start. It's the first step that counts. So get started. Keep moving. The power of momentum is yours to claim. Facing obstacles. Life is not an easy journey. We all face obstacles. Let me make it clear. No one is exempt from them. No one is free from the weight of struggle, pain, doubt, or frustration. These obstacles come in different shapes and sizes. Sometimes they appear as small hurdles, and sometimes they feel like insurmountable mountains. But I want to tell you today, it's not the obstacles that define us. It's how we respond to them that shapes our lives. You've been there, haven't you? That moment when you hit a wall. You've tried everything you can. You've given your best effort. And then, out of nowhere, you face a setback. The doubts creep in. Can I do this? Am I strong enough? Am I good enough? These questions echo in your mind, and suddenly, everything you've worked for feels like it's slipping away. It's easy to let fear and frustration take over. The pain of that obstacle feels overwhelming. But I want you to hear me when I say this. Obstacles are inevitable, but how you respond to them is the key to your success. You see, it's natural to feel discouraged when things don't go your way. It's normal to feel fear and doubt when you face something that feels bigger than you. But here's the truth. The obstacle itself isn't the problem. The real problem is what happens next. When you face a challenge, when the weight of the world is pressing on you, there are only two choices. You either let the obstacle defeat you, or you rise above it. And I know it's hard. I know there are days when the road seems so long, and the mountain in front of you seems so high. But I also know this. You have the strength within you to climb it. The mountain isn't as high as you think once you begin your climb. The walls you face aren't as solid as they seem when you start breaking them down. There is power in your movement, power in your decision to face the obstacle head on. But you have to make that choice. You have to keep moving. Let's talk about the story of Thomas Edison. Many of you know his name, but I want you to really think about what he went through. Edison was known for his persistence, but what most people don't know is the magnitude of the obstacles he had to overcome. At one point, he was told he was too stupid to learn anything, and that he would never amount to anything. Can you imagine someone telling you that? The man who would go on to create over 1,000 patents, the man who would light up the world, was told he wasn't smart enough to succeed. But here's the thing. Edison didn't let that stop him. When he failed in his experiments over and over again, he didn't quit. He didn't say, well, maybe this just isn't for me. No, he said, I haven't failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work. That's a man who knew that obstacles were part of the process. He knew that failure wasn't final. It was just a stepping stone on the way to success. What about Oprah Winfrey? She faced countless obstacles in her life: sexual abuse, poverty, rejection, discrimination. She was fired from her first television job, told that she was unfit for TV. Imagine that. Oprah Winfrey, a woman who would go on to become one of the most powerful and influential figures in television and media, was told she wasn't good enough. Yet she didn't allow her circumstances to define her. She didn't let the obstacles stop her. Instead, she used them as fuel to drive her forward. She kept moving, kept growing, kept believing. And let's not forget about the story of David and Goliath. The young shepherd boy, armed with nothing but a slingshot and a stone, faced a giant who was armed with the finest armor and weapons. The odds were stacked against David. No one thought he had a chance. But David understood something that we all need to grasp today. The size of the giant doesn't matter when you have faith and courage. The mountain is not as high as you think when you start climbing. David didn't focus on the obstacle. He focused on the power within him. You see, obstacles are not meant to break you. They are meant to reveal what's inside of you. They show you who you really are. They push you to your limits, yes, but they also make you stronger, sharper, and more resilient. And if you can get this, if you can internalize it, you will realize that every obstacle is just an opportunity in disguise. I'm talking to you right now because I know you've faced obstacles. I know you felt the weight of the world on your shoulders, and I know you've thought about giving up. I know the pain of losing something or someone close to you, the frustration of working so hard only to see little progress. But let me tell you, you are not your obstacles. You are more than what you see in front of you right now. That mountain, it's not as high as you think. The road ahead may be rough, but let me ask you something. What would happen if you kept going? What if you didn't stop? What if you faced that obstacle, stared it down, and said, "Not today. I'm going to keep moving forward"? What if you knew deep down that no matter how hard the road gets, your resilience is greater? That's the key. Your response is everything. The obstacle itself doesn't define you, but your response to it does. So how are you going to respond? Are you going to let the fear, the doubt, the frustration keep you stuck? Or are you going to rise? The mountain will move when you start climbing. The door will open when you push. You don't have to see the whole staircase. Just take the first step. Maybe it feels like your dream is impossible. Maybe the odds are stacked against you. But I want you to remember this. You are made for this. You are equipped for this. You are not alone. The strength you need is already inside you. You just have to keep moving. Every time you face an obstacle, you have the power to decide, will I allow this to break me, or will I let it make me stronger? The choice is yours. The mountain is not as high as you think when you start climbing. You are capable of more than you realize, so I challenge you today. Look at your obstacle, whatever it may be, and make a decision. You are not going to stop. You are going to rise. You are going to keep moving. The strength within. Let me tell you something that I believe with every fiber of my being. The strength you need is already inside you. It's not something you have to search for or find somewhere out there in the world. It's not a distant dream or a far-off hope. It's already within you, waiting to be unlocked, waiting to be activated. But here's the thing. Just like physical strength, your internal strength, your emotional resilience, and your mental toughness need to be built. They don't come overnight. They don't just appear because you want them to. They are forged in the fires of your everyday struggles, challenges, and battles. You don't build muscle by wishing for it. You build it by lifting weights. You don't become stronger by sitting still. You become stronger by consistently pushing against resistance. And the same is true for your internal strength. Your emotional and mental resilience are muscles. You may not see them growing right away, But every time you face a challenge and choose not to give up, you are strengthening your resolve. Every time you push past fear and keep moving forward, even when it feels impossible, you are training your mind to be unshakable. Every time you tell yourself, "I can do this," or "I will not be defeated," you are building the muscle of confidence and mental toughness. When you feel weak, remember, you are not weak. You are simply in the process of building strength. Every setback you face, every challenge that comes your way, is an opportunity to build that inner muscle. Think about it like this. You don't go to the gym and lift the heaviest weights on your first day. No, you start small. You start with what you can handle, and as you keep lifting, your body becomes stronger. Your inner strength works the same way. You start with what you can handle, and as you continue to face challenges, your resilience becomes stronger, but it requires consistent effort, discipline, and most importantly, faith. Now, you might be thinking, but I don't feel strong right now. I don't see any progress. I don't feel like I'm getting anywhere. Let me encourage you today. You may not see the growth today, but I promise you, it's happening. I want you to think of a seed. When you plant a seed in the ground, you don't immediately see a tree. You don't look at the ground and say, "Well, I guess this isn't working." No. You know that beneath the surface something is happening. The seed is growing, but it's not visible to the naked eye. It's breaking through the soil, sending down roots, gathering the nourishment it needs to rise. It's a slow, steady process that takes time. But if you keep watering that seed, if you keep nurturing it, it will eventually grow into something beautiful, something strong. And the same is true for you. Your growth is happening, even if you don't see it yet. Every time you make the choice to keep going, every time you don't give up, you are watering your dreams. The process may feel slow, and sometimes it may feel like nothing is happening at all. But I want to tell you that growth is happening. The strength is being built inside of you. And just like the seed, it will eventually burst forth, and you will see the tree that was planted deep within you. Trust the process. Trust that every challenge, every struggle is part of the journey. Trust that even when you feel like you're standing still, you are still moving forward, growing, and evolving. Don't give up just because you can't see the results yet. Keep watering your dreams. Keep putting in the work. Keep believing. Because one day, you will look back and see how far you've come, and you will realize that all those small steps, all those quiet moments of perseverance, have led to something extraordinary. Now, I want to give you something powerful to hold on to. Words have power. The words you speak over yourself are not just words. They shape your reality. And I want you to start speaking life over yourself because you are capable, you are strong, and you are moving forward. When you feel like quitting, when you feel like giving in to the fear or doubt, I want you to speak these words out loud. Say them to yourself every day. I am capable. You are capable of achieving everything you set your mind to. The strength is already inside you. I am strong. No matter what you face, you have the strength to overcome it. You've already made it this far, and you will keep going. I am moving forward. Even when it feels like you're not making progress, you are. Every step you take is moving you closer to your dream. I am becoming better every day. Growth is happening. The challenges you face are only shaping you into the person you are meant to be. I will not be defeated. No matter what comes your way, you will rise. You will keep moving, and you will win. Speak these affirmations every day. And when life gets tough, when the obstacles seem too big to overcome, keep saying them. Keep believing them, because you are stronger than you realize. Your strength comes from within, and it will carry you through even the hardest times. You are not weak. You are powerful. You are unstoppable. The key to unlocking your strength is simple. Keep going. You might not feel like it, and it may be hard, but I promise you, the strength you need is already inside of you. You don't have to search for it. You don't have to look outside yourself for answers. All you have to do is keep moving forward, one step at a time. And as you do, you will begin to see just how strong you really are. Remember, just like a muscle needs resistance to grow, your strength grows in the face of challenges. The process may not be easy, but it is worth it. And every single time you face an obstacle and keep going, you are building the internal strength that will carry you to your dreams. So, take a deep breath, trust the process, keep watering your dreams, keep lifting those weights, and keep moving forward, because the strength within you is more than enough. You've got this. Turning setbacks into comebacks. Let me start by saying this. Setbacks are not the end. They are not the final word in your story. They are not proof that you can't succeed. In fact, I want you to understand today that setbacks are simply setups for comebacks. They are opportunities for growth, learning, and resilience. Every time you face a setback, you have a choice: to let it defeat you, or to let it fuel your rise. Today, I'm going to talk about how to turn those setbacks into comebacks. I want to give you the tools, the mindset, and the inspiration to help you see setbacks for what they really are: stepping stones toward your success. Let's dive deep into this, and let's make sure you leave here today equipped to turn any setback into your next big comeback. First, let's redefine what a setback really is. A setback, in its simplest form, is just a delay or a challenge that stands between you and your goal. But here's the key. A setback is not a roadblock. It's a detour. It's not the end of the road. It's just a change in direction. The truth is, we've all encountered setbacks at some point in our lives. Whether it's personal failure, professional disappointment, or unexpected obstacles, everyone faces them. But what truly separates those who succeed from those who don't is how they respond to those setbacks. A setback is not a reflection of your ability or potential. It's a reflection of the fact that you are pushing yourself, that you are striving to go beyond your current limits. And when you push yourself to grow, challenges will come. But those challenges are not there to break you. They are there to build you. They force you to develop new skills, to think differently, and to approach problems with creativity and innovation. When you experience a setback, instead of asking, "Why me?" ask yourself, "What can I learn from this? What is this setback trying to teach me?" Every setback holds a lesson. Now, I want to share with you a story that embodies the power of turning setbacks into comebacks. It's a story that many of you may know, but I want you to hear it again with fresh ears. It's the story of Thomas Edison, one of the greatest inventors the world has ever known. Edison is best known for inventing the light bulb, but what most people don't know is how many failures he experienced before achieving success. Edison's journey was full of setbacks. In fact, he failed over 1,000 times before he successfully invented the light bulb. Think about that for a second. 1,000 failures. And yet, when asked about these failures, Edison famously said, "I have not failed. I've just found 1,000 ways that won't work." How many people would have quit after 10 failures? Or 100? Edison didn't let failure define him. Instead, he saw each setback as a necessary step on his path to success. And what's even more inspiring is that Edison didn't keep his failures to himself. He learned from each one. He took the lessons from each setback, made adjustments, and kept going. His setbacks weren't the end. They were the foundation for his comeback. Another powerful story comes from Oprah Winfrey. Before she became the global media mogul she is today, Oprah faced numerous setbacks. Early in her career, she was fired from her job as a television reporter, with the reason being that she was unfit for television. Many people would have given up, but Oprah didn't. She turned that setback into the fuel for her comeback. She didn't let rejection define her. Instead, she used it as motivation to get better, to improve, and to find her true calling. Now, Oprah is one of the most influential women in the world, and her story proves that failure is just the beginning of success. These stories are just two examples of how individuals took setbacks and transformed them into comebacks. But you don't have to be Thomas Edison or Oprah Winfrey to make a comeback. You can do it too. So now that we've discussed how setbacks are opportunities for growth, and we've seen examples of incredible comebacks, let's talk about the actionable steps you can take to turn your own setbacks into comebacks. These steps are simple, but powerful. 1. Change your perspective. The first thing you need to do is change the way you see setbacks. Instead of seeing them as obstacles or reasons to quit, start seeing them as opportunities. Every setback is a setup for your next level. When you change your perspective, you change your energy. And when you change your energy, you change your results. Take a moment right now to think about a setback you're currently facing. How do you see it? Is it a roadblock? Or is it a learning opportunity? Shift your perspective and start to see the lesson in the challenge. What is this setback teaching you? What skills or mindset do you need to develop in order to overcome it? 2. Learn from the failure. One of the most powerful ways to turn a setback into a comeback is to learn from it. Every failure is a lesson. It might be uncomfortable to face your failures, but there's incredible value in doing so. Reflect on what went wrong and ask yourself, what could I have done differently? What did I learn from this experience? Think about how Thomas Edison used his failures. He didn't just accept them and move on. He took the time to analyze what wasn't working and adjusted his approach accordingly. You need to do the same. Embrace failure as part of the process, not as a reflection of your ability or potential.
3. Create a plan.
Once you've learned from the setback, it's time to take action. Create a plan. It's not enough to just learn from your failure. You need to take what you've learned and use it to create a strategic plan to move forward. Ask yourself these questions. What steps can I take to overcome this setback? What resources or support do I need to move forward?
How can I adjust my approach based on what I've learned?
By creating a concrete plan of action, you shift from feeling defeated to feeling empowered. You take control of your future by mapping out a path toward success. 4. Stay persistent. One of the most important aspects of turning setbacks into comebacks is persistence. It's easy to give up when things aren't going your way, but the key to success is to stay persistent, to keep going even when the going gets tough. Think about the most successful people in the world. They didn't get there by giving up. They got there by facing setbacks head-on and choosing to persist. No matter how many times you fall, always get back up. The more you persist, the stronger you become. 5. Take small, consistent steps. Finally, when faced with a setback, it's important to take small, consistent steps toward your goal. Don't expect to solve everything in one day. Focus on progress, not perfection. Each small step you take adds up over time. Think about a snowball rolling down a hill. At first it's small, but as it keeps rolling, it gains momentum and becomes larger. Your efforts, no matter how small they seem at first, will eventually build momentum and lead to your success. I want you to walk away from this today with a new mindset. Setbacks are not failures. They are the raw material for your greatest comebacks. The stories of Thomas Edison, Oprah Winfrey, and countless others show us that setbacks are just a part of the process. They are not the end. They are the beginning of something greater. When you face a setback, don't quit. Embrace the challenge, learn from it, create a plan, stay persistent, and remember, every step you take, no matter how small, is a step closer to your comeback. You are capable of achieving greatness. You've already overcome so much to get to where you are today. So, when life knocks you down, get back up and use that setback as the fuel to drive your comeback.
Your comeback starts now. Let's go out and make it happen.
The power of community. Let me tell you something profound today. You do not have to face this journey alone. Too often we think that success and overcoming challenges are solely up to us. We try to carry the weight of the world on our shoulders, believing that we have to fight every battle by ourselves. But that is a lie. The truth is, we are stronger together. And today, I want to talk to you about the power of community and how the right support system can propel you forward, even when you feel like you can't go on anymore. When you're struggling, when you're facing obstacles that seem impossible to overcome, having the right people around you can make all the difference. And today, I want to remind you that you don't have to go through your challenges alone, because when you find your community, your circle, there's nothing you can't achieve. Let me ask you this. How many of you have ever felt alone in your struggles? Felt like the weight of the world was on your shoulders, and you were the only one who could lift it? I know I've been there. I know what it's like to feel isolated, to think that no one really understands what you're going through. But I need you to hear this. You are never truly alone. The key to unlocking your potential in life is recognizing the power of community. The people around you who believe in you, support you, and push you to become the best version of yourself. Think about it for a moment. When you are surrounded by the right people, you don't have to carry your burdens by yourself. There's power in sharing the load and having others who lift you up when you feel like you can't stand on your own. The truth is, no one achieves greatness alone. Every great leader, every successful person, every person who has overcome hardship has had someone by their side, someone who believed in them when they couldn't believe in themselves. The people you surround yourself with matter. They influence your thoughts, your mindset, and your actions. The energy of the people around you either lifts you up or pulls you down. And when you're on this journey of growth, of overcoming obstacles, you need to be around people who want to see you succeed. So, if you're currently in a place where you're trying to go it alone, let me challenge you today. Stop isolating yourself. Find those people who will walk with you, encourage you, and hold you accountable. Don't let pride or fear stop you from reaching out. Ask for help. Lean on others. Because when we lean on each other, we grow together. Let me give you an example of the power of community, a real-world story that shows how teamwork and unity can make all the difference in achieving something extraordinary. I want you to think about the story of the 4-minute mile. Before Roger Bannister broke the barrier in 1954, no one believed it was possible to run a mile in under 4 minutes. For centuries, athletes had tried and failed, and many experts said it was humanly impossible. But something happened when Roger Bannister finally achieved this seemingly impossible feat. Other runners saw that it could be done, and they began breaking the 4-minute mile themselves. Within just a few months of Bannister's breakthrough, multiple runners did the same. Why? Because the barrier wasn't just physical, it was mental. Once the impossible became possible in the minds of people, they realized they could do it too. And that's the power of community. Bannister didn't just break the barrier for himself. He opened the door for others. His success was not just his own. It became a communal success. When one person succeeds, it sends a signal to others that they too can succeed. When we surround ourselves with people who have accomplished great things, it inspires us to reach higher, to believe that we are capable of the same. But you don't need to be an athlete to understand the power of community. Look at any team, whether it's in sports, business, or even in family. Great things happen when people come together, when each person contributes their strengths, their support, and their belief in the collective goal. In the business world, companies that encourage collaboration and team unity often see greater success than those that operate in silos. It's the same with personal progress. If you want to see change in your life, surround yourself with people who want to see that change too. Unity and progress brings exponential growth. So, today, I want you to make a commitment. Find your circle of influence. Find those people who are going to stand by you through thick and thin. Surround yourself with those who challenge you, motivate you, and believe in your potential. Your circle doesn't just have to be family. It can be friends, mentors, coaches, colleagues, or even a support group. But what matters is that you find people who share your vision, people who will encourage you to keep moving when things get tough. Don't let anyone or anything stop your forward momentum. When you face setbacks, your circle is there to remind you that it's not the end. They'll lift you up, help you recalibrate, and push you to move forward. When you experience victory, your circle will be there to celebrate with you, reinforcing the idea that we rise together.
If you're in a place right now where you feel alone, ask yourself, who can I reach out to? Who can I bring into my journey who will help me keep moving forward?
And if you already have a strong circle of people around you, take a moment to be grateful for them. Let them know how much they mean to you. Together, you are unstoppable. The power of community is real. And together, there's nothing you cannot accomplish. As we close today, I want you to leave with this. Success is not a solo journey. It's a team effort. You are stronger, more resilient, and more capable when you are surrounded by people who believe in you.
Find your circle. Stay close to those who encourage you, who push you, and who challenge you to keep going. And when the world seems heavy, lean on each other. Keep moving forward, together.
So let's do this. Let's rise as a community. Let's make the impossible possible. Together, we can overcome anything. Let's move forward, and let's keep it moving.
Reaching the next level.
When I talk about reaching the next level, I want you to picture your future. Picture what your life looks like when you keep moving, when you don't let setbacks, obstacles, or doubts hold you back. Take a moment to close your eyes and imagine it.
What do you see?
Do you see yourself standing on the other side of your struggles, stronger, more confident, and more capable than ever before? Do you see doors opening that you never thought possible? Maybe those doors lead to opportunities you never even dreamed of. Maybe they lead to a new career, to the business you've always wanted to start, or to a new chapter of personal growth and achievement. The truth is, when you keep moving, no matter the pace, you're creating momentum that propels you forward into a future where opportunity and growth await. The key to unlocking all of that is simply to keep putting one foot in front of the other, even when the road is tough. Because, my friend, the world has a way of opening up when you refuse to stop. Your future is not some distant dream. It is the product of the actions you take today, the steps you take right now. Imagine a world where you're no longer held back by fear or doubt. A world where you are empowered to create the life you've always wanted. That's the power of perseverance. The more you move, the more you unlock. The more your future becomes a reality. The more doors open up, the more opportunities you'll have to step into a life that aligns with your deepest desires and your greatest potential. The journey may be long, the road may be rough, but I promise you, on the other side of your struggle, there's greatness waiting for you. I want to remind you today that success is not a destination. Success is a journey. It's not about a single moment of achievement. It's about the steps you take, the lessons you learn, and the growth you experience as you move forward. I know so many of you might think that success is something you'll reach one day. When I get that promotion, then I'll be successful. When I finish that project, then I'll feel accomplished. But that's not the truth. Success is the ongoing process of becoming. It's the decisions you make today that shape who you'll be tomorrow. It's the habits you build, the persistence you demonstrate, and the resilience you show in the face of adversity. Success is about becoming the person who can handle the weight of the dreams you have. It's about molding yourself into someone who is capable of achieving the great things you've always wanted for your life. Think about the world's greatest achievers. Whether it's athletes, entrepreneurs, or even everyday people who've done extraordinary things. They didn't stop after reaching a milestone. They kept moving, kept growing, kept evolving, because they understood that true success comes from continuous effort and improvement. Every step forward is progress, no matter how small. Every challenge you overcome, every obstacle you move past, brings you closer to the person you're becoming and the success that's waiting for you. Don't wait for success to knock on your door. It won't come that way. Success is earned. Success is built. And it's built in the small moments, the quiet decisions, the consistent actions that accumulate over time. Success is a process, and it's one you have to keep participating in. So don't get discouraged when you don't see immediate results. Don't be disheartened when you can't yet see the entire path laid out before you. Keep moving. Because every step you take, you are shaping the life you desire. Now, as we close, I want you to hold on to something powerful. Don't stop now. Keep moving, because your future is waiting for you, and it's closer than you think. You might not see the end of the journey right now. You might not see where the next step leads, but that doesn't matter. What matters is that you keep taking those steps, that you keep pushing forward, because every step gets you closer to the life you've been dreaming of. There are moments on this journey when you'll want to give up. There will be times when you'll wonder if it's worth it, when the weight of the world will feel too heavy. But in those moments, remember, you are closer than you think. Your breakthrough, your next level, your victory is just one more step away. And when you keep moving, you will unlock doors that you didn't even know existed. Let me leave you with this thought. You have the power to create your future with every choice you make today. The future you're imagining is within your reach, and if you keep moving, it will soon be your reality. The finish line may seem far, but it's closer than you think. Don't stop now. Keep moving forward. Your future is waiting, and it's closer than you ever imagined. So let's keep moving, because the best is yet to come. And remember, your journey is not over. It's only just begun. I want you to hear me clearly. The journey begins now. It's easy to think, I'll start tomorrow, or I'll wait until everything falls into place. But I'm telling you, don't wait any longer. Take that first step today. Don't put off your dreams. Don't delay your destiny. Whatever it is you've been putting off, whatever that goal or vision is, I'm telling you today, start now. Take that step, no matter how small it may feel. Every journey begins with a single step, and that first step is all you need to set the wheels of your destiny in motion. The moment you decide to move forward, something shifts in the atmosphere. You've heard the saying, a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. It's true, and it's powerful. You've got everything you need right inside you. Don't allow hesitation, fear, or doubt to rob you of your future. The power to change your life is already within your grasp. You just have to act. Make that decision today. Whatever you've been waiting for, whatever you've been doubting, just take that step. You don't need to see the entire path ahead of you. All you need is the courage to take the next step. Your future is unfolding right now, and if you keep moving, you will reach the place you've always dreamed of. Now, before I leave you today, I want to offer you something that I know will encourage your soul, and it's a blessing, a reminder of the greatness that is within you. I want you to know this, and I want you to hear it with every part of your being. You are destined for greatness. You were born for more than this moment, for more than what's around you right now. You have greatness on the inside of you. So as you take that first step, know that the path is already being made for you. The obstacles will come, but they will not stop you. The challenges will rise, but they will not break you. You are stronger than you know. You are more capable than you've realized. You are a conqueror, and your time is now.
Keep moving forward. Do not be discouraged. You are closer than you think. Don't you dare stop. Don't you dare quit. Your destiny is within reach, and it's time to claim it.
I declare over your life that your best days are ahead of you, that the power to keep moving is within you, and no matter what you face, you will rise. So go ahead, make that move, take that step, because your future is waiting for you. Your time is now. Keep moving, because you are about to step into greatness. Blessings to you. Keep moving forward. The best is yet to come.